is reality and Hall of Fame debate. For the next couple days, the announcement of the Baseball Hall of Fame's class of 2018 will dominate the sports discussion. And rightfully so. We all love a good debate about who should be and who shouldn't be enshrined in Cooperstown. Heck, my USA Today sports colleagues and I just finished debating the merits of the top 24 players on this year's ballot. On a personal note, I'll be eligible to cast my first Hall of Fame vote in 2 years. But it doesn't hurt to get a feel for how the process will work. It seems simple until you realize there's a point where you can't change your mind and your vote is final. My virtual ballot, as the number of qualified candidates has risen over the past several years, I've been a proponent of voting for the maximum of 10 players. In our Hall Power rankings, the top 7 are same top 7 on my list, though I did have Roger Clemens ahead of Chipper Jones. I can't justify using steroid allegations to withhold my vote from 2 of the game's most accomplished players, Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens, when MLB executives Anka Eisen or Bud Selig, a 2017 Hall of Famer, made no effort to discourage the practices that had apparently become commonplace. It's impossible for me to judge their merits versus anyone else's without being able to know who did or didn't use whatever performance-enhancing drugs were available at the time, how long they used them, how much the use impacted what they did on the field. In the end, I will use my votes to determine the best players of their era, in relation to the best players of all time. In addition to Bonds and Clemens, Jones was one of the best players I've seen. He'll get in easily on the first ballot. Thome, with his 612 career homers, should as well. Guerrero was a once-in-a-lifetime talent who was an even better player than the sum of his stats indicate. Mussina and Schilling were both outstanding competitors for 18 and 20 years, respectively. Both also have historically great strikeout-to-walk ratios to bolster their counting stats and postseason resumes. And I believe Walker deserves to get in, which I wrote about as part of our series. That's 8. I'm convinced they're all Hall-worthy. But that's where I draw the line. The others I'm not convinced. Edgar Martinez makes the cut. He started late in his career and his 309 homers rank 132nd overall. He doesn't get extra credit for his defense, nor does he have a strong postseason record. And only once did he finish in the top 5 for AL MVP, 3rd, 1995. Still, he was a fantastic hitter and an on-base machine. I ranked him 9th. My 10th spot on our rankings went to Johan Santana, who has no shot to get in, or even stay on the Hall of Fame ballot next season. But he was a joy to watch, root for and have on fantasy teams. A 2-time Cy Young Award winner, Santana was incredibly dominant when healthy, but those injuries helped end his career at age 33. I agree with the Sandy Koufax comparisons. He was amazing for a brief period of time. But unlike Koufax, he never won a World Series. Or even got close, for that matter. As for the rest, I'm happy for Trevor Hoffman, who looks like he'll make it in this year. I appreciate his longevity and all the saves he recorded, but I believe the importance of a closer is overstated. And saves are a flawed stat that doesn't reflect a pitcher's true value. A case could also be made that Billy Wagner was better than Hoffman. I still hold open the possibility of coming around on Gary Sheffield, Manny Ramirez, Scott Rowland, Jeff Kent and Sammy Sosa. Maybe even Andrew Jones. They should all be on the ballot when I get the opportunity to cast a vote that counts. It's not easy. I hope I'll be ready by 2020. The Rotisserie Hall of Fame as a precursor to the announcement of Cooperstown's latest inductees. BaseballHQ.com founder Ron Chandler traditionally unveils his selections for the fantasy baseball equivalent, the Rotisserie Hall of Fame. Here, allegations and character don't matter. As Chandler says, it's all about the stats. Eligibility for the Roto Hall is based on lifetime and peak rotisserie dollar earnings, and number of times ranked within the top 15 batters or pitchers during the player's career. Unlike the BWA, there is no waiting period for Roto Hall induction. If a player meets all the other criteria, he can be inducted as soon as he officially retires. The Roto Hall Class of 2018. 1. Alex Rodriguez. He has $621 in career Roto earnings, third all-time behind Bonds and Ricky Henderson. 2. Carlos Beltran. He was a $30+ player during his peak from 2001-08. Over that span, he averaged 29 homers, 104 RBI and 29 stolen bases. 3. Cliff Lee. He reeled off 6 consecutive $20+ seasons starting with his 2008 Cy Young year. 4. Joe Nathan. Saves are extremely important in fantasy baseball, and Nathan was incredibly consistent after getting the closer's job. He had 6 consecutive $20+ seasons. 5. Johan Santana, and look who rounds out the class. As Chandler says, Santana's career was short, but his peak impact was notable. His 5-year total of $170, from 2004-08, has been exceeded by only 4 other pitchers: Greg Maddux, Pedro Martinez, Randy Johnson and Clayton Kershaw.